Is jumping and jolting Jerry Lee Lewis.
Come on over, baby, whole lot of shaking going on. You broke my will, but what a thrill. Goodness gracious.
Hello YouTube. We are saddened to discover that rock and roll pioneer Jerry Lee Lewis has passed on. Today, we'll take a brief look at his life and career. Elton John said on Twitter, "Without Jerry Lee Lewis, I wouldn't have become who I am today. He was groundbreaking and exciting, and he pulverized the piano. A brilliant singer too. Thank you for your trailblazing inspiration and all the rock and roll memories. Rest in peace." Jerry Lee Lewis, born September 29, 1935, passed on October 28, 2022, was an American singer, songwriter, and pianist. Nicknamed the Killer, he was described as rock and roll's first great wild man and one of the most influential pianists of the 20th century. A pioneer of rock and roll and rockabilly music, Lewis made his first recordings in 1956 at Sun Records in Memphis, Tennessee. Crazy Arms sold 300,000 copies in the South, but it was his 1957 hit Whole Lotta Shakin' Goin' On that shot Lewis to fame worldwide. Lewis was born to Elmo Kid Lewis Sr. and Mary Mamie Heron Lewis in Faraday, Louisiana. He grew up in an impoverished farming family in eastern Louisiana. In his youth, he began playing the piano with two of his cousins, Mickey Gilley, later a popular country music singer, and Jimmy Swaggart, later a popular televangelist. His mother enrolled him at the Southwest Bible Institute in Waxahachie, Texas, so that he could sing evangelical songs exclusively. When Lewis daringly played a boogie-woogie rendition of My God Is Real at a church assembly, it ended his association with the school the same night. In November 1956, Lewis traveled to Memphis, Tennessee, to audition for Sun Records. Label owner Sam Phillips was in Florida, but producer and engineer Jack Clement recorded Lewis's rendition of Ray Price's Crazy Arms and his own composition. On December 4, 1956, Elvis Presley dropped in on Phillips to pay a social visit while Perkins was in the studio cutting new tracks, with Lewis backing him on piano. Johnny Cash was also there watching Perkins. The four then started an impromptu jam session and Phillips left the tape running. These recordings, almost half of which were gospel songs, were released on CD as $1 Million Quartet. Lewis' career took off and his singles tore up the charts. All would make the top 10 until he violated the public trust, as Lewis's turbulent personal life was hidden from the public until a May 1958 British tour where Ray Berry, a news agency reporter at London's Heathrow Airport, the only journalist present, learned about Lewis's third wife, Myra Gale Brown.
Well, the papers reported that you were greeted with silence over there and with catcalls from the audience. Is that right?
Well, I can't agree with him there, sir.
Oh, did you notice anything like that sort of reception?
No, it was a very good reception, I thought.
She is Lewis's first cousin once removed, and was 13 years old when they married, though Lewis, who was 22 years old at the time, claimed she was actually 15. The publicity caused an uproar, and the tour was cancelled after only 3 concerts. He should have taken a cue from Elvis, who kept Priscilla locked up at Graceland until she was over 18. His current hit, High School Confidential, would stall at number 21 when the news broke out. His singles after that would fail to chart. Sun Records dropped him after his contract ran out and he would be picked up by Smash Records. He would make a comeback on the country charts in 1970. He'd reach the top of the country charts with songs like There Must Be More to Love Than This, Once More with Feelin', and a remake of Chantilly Lace. His songs would continue to reach the top of the country charts into the 80s. In 1989, a biopic was released starring Dennis Quaid as Lewis, based on a biography by Myra Lewis and Murray M. Silver Jr.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane.
Great Balls of Fire earned mixed to positive reviews. The review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes reported that 62% of critics gave the film a positive review, based on 26 reviews.
You broke my will, but what a thrill. Goodness gracious, just quitting balls of fire.
The critical consensus reads, Great Balls of Fire romanticizes the more disturbing elements of Jerry Lee Lewis' controversial life story, but Dennis Quaid's crackerjack performance and a soundtrack stuffed with classic songs gives this flawed biopic some smolder. Quaid made this statement on Jerry Lee's passing: Jerry Lee was a Christian, an American icon and the greatest piano player in the world. People will be listening to Great Balls of Fire and Whole Lot of Shakin' 500 years from now. Quaid added, I will miss him. God bless you, Jerry Lee. That was our tribute to the late Jerry Lee Lewis. President Trump had this to say: Jerry Lee Lewis was beloved by everyone, a real bundle of talent, energy, and everything else necessary to be a star. Rock and roll has lost one of its true pioneers, and he will be remembered fondly. I hope you enjoyed this tribute to The Killer. What about you? Were you a fan of The Killer? What was your favorite Jerry Lee Lewis song? Let me know in the comments below. I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. Check the links below for the Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter franchise, and until next time, this is Andrew in for Kevin Given saying live long and prosper. May the force be with you and keep reaching for the stars.